This week for Sunday lunch, we decided to try Stacked. It's a new restaurant in town that's actually an add-on to a food truck that's been around for a while. Considering that they're based on a food truck, they have a surprising number of options. Sunday was also the start of drum corps season at the McKnight House. Every summer for the last few, we've subscribed to a service called FloMarching so that we can watch the drum corps shows as they proceed around the country. FloMarching is a live service, and so if you try to watch a previous show, you can, but they cut out the sound, so it's really just a live service only. Over the past month or so, I've been transforming my daughter Trina's room into something that I'm hoping to use as a studio for a second channel that I'm putting together to teach about computer science and teach about programming on a second YouTube channel. I'm really happy with how the room has come together. I'm pleased with how everything looks. I do have a few shadow issues and a few stray reflections that I need to figure out how to deal with, but all in all, I'm really happy with how the room came together. And over on this side of the room, I've put together kind of my Doc Brown counter that I had in my office at school with all my different clocks. And then in the entryway, I also have my calendar and clock as well. Last week when Trina was home, she joked about the fact that she'll never not know what time it is. Monday night's dinner had a lot of components that all got involved in the plating process. And then I caught a shot of the same components in a different plating arrangement.
Well, I was definitely ready to read something back in my favorite YA fantasy genre, and I picked up The Forest King's Daughter by Elly Blake. And I really liked another series that I read by Elly Blake, Frostblood, and so this was definitely one I was looking forward to, and I was not disappointed. It was about, it was kind of a star-crossed lovers type of a thing. As kids, they were from opposite sides of kind of a war, and they met up and were friends, and he gives her something that changes the course of the war unknowingly, and they pick up 12 years later or so, and she's trying to use this thing that he gave her as a weapon and is not having much luck with it, and then he ends up kidnapping her, and they end up in a unique situation that they have to figure out. I really liked it. I'm not always a friend of enemies to lovers, but this one was really well done. I felt like it was a unique world. Some of the pieces were like modern fae kind of stories, and I gave it 4.5 stars on Storygraph, so I really enjoyed it. I would say if you're looking for possibly standalone fantasy and YA, that this is one I would definitely recommend.
Another activity I did this week was flushing out my water heater. It was much less eventful than last summer, thankfully, but when I turned the water back on, by some strange fluke, it blew the aerator off the end of my faucet, so trying to get a non-standard faucet adapter replaced was a bit of an adventure this week. I had an issue this summer that when I first turned the water on for my sprinklers, one of the elbows of my lead pipe came disconnected, so step one of getting that fixed was trimming back the bushes so that I could dig a hole for fixing the pipe issue. I'm really impressed that I made it to July 12th before needing to worry about getting the water turned on for watering my lawn. But after a lot of work and much of it not having to do with water pipes, my sprinklers are now working. On Thursday, for Alex's class, he had a wine tasting. Although he's not 21, and so he needed to swish and spit like a real sommelier. But since he would have alcohol on his breath, Melissa also went up to be his designated driver.
I read pretty quickly a juvenile fiction mystery on the recommendation from my friend Josh Bleeker, who's working for the author, Aaron Johnson. The book is called Mystery in Rocky Mountain National Park, and there's a whole series of national park mysteries that this is the first in the series, and it was a lot of fun. It was fun because I knew it was well researched, and I recognized things as they talked about Estes Park and Rocky Mountain National, and it was a good story. I felt like it would appeal definitely to kids that are interested in mysteries. I've also heard it's sought after by some of our older crowd that are maybe grandparent age. I would say that this is a fun book, and I would guess the series is just as great. So if you are looking for something to read with a young person that's got some mystery but is really connected with our country and our national parks, you should check it out.